Cali State. If you haven't already, please like, subscribe. Also, the notification bell so you get the newest content first. But hey, let's just go ahead and jump right in. The question I have is, when John Wall returns, what's expected of him? What will they use him, or how will they use him? How will they utilize his skills to help this team get to the next level? And that's a question I've been having since, John Wall has, entered the locker room of the Clippers and put on a Clippers jersey. Because I just don't know. I'm just not sure what he can really bring to them going forward that he hasn't brung already. Now, so far, he can shoot. He hasn't shot the ball the greatest. He's had a lot of, turnovers or shaky turnovers, I would say. And his ball handling has been pretty good, almost like it was several years ago. But he shows moments where he can be somewhat of that John Wall as he was several years ago. But I think, with John Wall, it's more about him catching a rhythm. And I don't know if he's ever really going to catch a rhythm the way the Clippers use him. Now, I know, of course, the Clippers game plan was to bring him in, slowly grind him in to, the way they do things there, the culture and everything like that. But the way they're doing it, the way they're going about it really isn't, pleasing John Wall. And on top of that, it really isn't pleasing to watch because you're seeing John Wall do things in spurts and moments, but you're not seeing any consistency. That may be due to the fact, of course, that, he had a minutes restriction himself. I don't know if he still does. Of course, he's injured right now with the abdominal injury, but I don't know if he was still on the minutes restriction before he went out. But it just seemed as if, he wasn't playing a lot or enough to really, play his game and be at the top of his form as much as he could be, along with building the chemistry with Kawhi and PG, which is vitally important for him to do because he has to know who to go to, when to go to them, and when for him to take his own shot and score himself and be aggressive. So it really, those three right there have to build that trio, that chemistry that can't be broken. And on top of that, the rest of the players around them have to build chemistry with John Wall too, because John Wall, he's flashy at times. He has nice passes. He can definitely do some good things. He's definitely athletic still from what we saw. Just about 2 weeks ago or a week or two ago, he had that poster dunk that he had that was like all over the internet and everything. So I respect John Wall there. But, the one thing I question about John Wall is his basketball IQ. And when I say basketball IQ, I'm talking about guys who have the IQ of the game where they can look at it from a different perspective that can push them and propel their team for them to push their team into the right direction to win. And when you have a point guard like that, that separates you from a lot of other teams. And that's the reason why I say that, if John Wall is going to be the point guard the Clippers need, he's going to have to play kind of sort of like the mentality of, somebody like a Chris Paul when Chris Paul was, in his prime, or, maybe like when he was a little bit younger, or maybe even somebody lower than that. He needs to play with the basketball IQ of somebody like Malcolm Brogdon on the Boston Celtics. See, Malcolm Brogdon comes in and out of the lineup, off the bench, in the starting lineup. It doesn't matter where you put him. He always seems to be productive at any point, any time when he's on the floor, because he knows how to play the game of basketball from a different perspective, because he plays with his mind, but he also plays savvy as well. And he is a decent knockdown shooter. So, when you look at that in all on its own, and the fact that he doesn't turn the ball over much himself, it makes him a valuable piece while he's on the floor. And as I said, his craftiness and his basketball IQ, wizardry, gets him all around the court. It allows him to score from different angles. He can get to the rim. Like I said, he can knock down the jumper 17 feet. He can knock down a three. He's good at shooting free throws, and he's a very good, solid role player. And I feel like that's kind of the mentality that John Wall needs to take. The only thing is John Wall doesn't shoot the ball very well. And like I said, he still can get to the rim and do some nice things, some flashy plays, but he doesn't play with the mind state of playing more in control. And that's the thing. When you're a point guard for a team and you're trying to win a championship, you have to play more in control. You have to have less turnovers. Your assist to turnover ratio has to be good. Your turnovers can't be those type of turnovers that happen at the wrong time. Let's hypothetically say John Wall has 1 or 2 turnovers entering the fourth quarter, but then the fourth quarter he has 4 turnovers, 3 or 4 turnovers altogether, and just in the fourth quarter alone. See, that's bad because more likely that'll get you beat because you're losing the ball and you're turning the ball over at the most unopportune time in the game. And I've seen John Wall do things like that even when he was on the Wizards back in the day, even with the Clippers a few times here. I watched some games where I specifically watched him specifically the whole time. I didn't even really watch anybody else. I wanted to pay attention to his game and see what he really has to offer and what he can do for this team going forward. And going forward, I'm going to need John Wall to really pick up his offense, and maybe not pick it up in regards to like scoring more points, but pick up his offense in regards to his efficiency and how he scores and when it's time for him to be aggressive, because he's going to need to know that. And as I said before, the only way that's going to come is if you build chemistry, and chemistry is hard to be built because if you're not on the floor, if you're not healthy, it doesn't just come like that. It's just something that you have to work on and something that you have to be, aware of, and you have to be a part. You have to be there. You know what I'm saying? Your availability is your best ability. So that's really what it's going to come down to. So hopefully John Wall gets back in a good time where he can, come back and ingratiate himself in the offense and kind of build with this team, because I can tell you now, they're really going to need, a point guard like John Wall who can, go from one end of the court to the other one, put pressure on the defense of the opposing team, get between the teeth of the defense, get into the seams, score in the basket, be quick, make quick decisions, make good decisions, and make less mistakes. And that's exactly, of course, what a point guard needs to be able to do at the highest level. And John Wall, I think he can still, play at a high level. I just don't know if he can play at a championship level. And that's my thing. Championship level and just playing basketball at a high level, being in the NBA is two different things. That's why we have elite players, superstars, stars, and role players. Everybody is at a different level. And like I said, for John Wall to get to that elite level, of point guard play with his basketball IQ, he's going to have to build chemistry with these guys, and he's going to have to keep, Kawhi Leonard by his side a lot, because he's going to have to learn where Kawhi Leonard likes it and when to do certain things, because you have to understand he'd be learning from somebody who won multiple championships. So that would better his game, and he needs to kind of, maybe listen to Ty Lue, of course, as well, because Ty Lue has won a championship as a player and a coach. So, I mean, he definitely knows certain things that John Wall don't know as a point guard that, could help him better his gameplay in situational moments that the Clippers are going to need him. So if they're going to keep him, which I believe they will, I don't see any trades, nothing like that happening. I don't believe any will happen anyway. Of course, I wouldn't be surprised by it, but we'll see what happens with that. But I mean, if going forward with John Wall is the notion, then they're going to have to, find a way to, get him more involved and get him more, acclimated with the offense and being a part of the offense. Because, I mean, if anything, I kind of expect John Wall to be, maybe 12 to 14 points per game with 9 assists. I expect him to be somewhere around there once he really gets going with this team, and, once he really kind of gets himself going and stay healthy enough to be on the floor with this team, because, I mean, really, they need that type of point guard play. They don't really need Kawhi and PG averaging 7-8 assists a game and averaging 30 points a game, because really what that does is wear down your superstar players. So when the playoffs come, they're dead tired and they're about ran out of gas because they're doing too much. When you have a point guard there, and before John Wall got hurt, you really wasn't even using him like that. You know what I'm saying? You was using him, you were slowly putting him into the lineup here and there, but you won't utilizing him where he's happy and where he can contribute, and things like that. So the Clippers going to have to make some vast decisions, and they're going to have to, be valid as well, because, I mean, like I said, you went out and got John Wall for a reason. So you got to use him when he gets back, and you got to make sure you give him enough time, when he does come back, to where he can at least kind of gain some rhythm with the guys and be help or useful to them when the playoffs start. But hey, that's my take on everything. Leave any comments in the comment section. Check my other videos if you haven't. And hey, till next time.